Michael. This is Oracle of the Golden Spiral. Today is the full moon in Aquarius. And so we're going to go ahead and see what's coming up. This is intended to be for a intention setting. So if you haven't already figured out what intentions you're setting for this closing out cycle of the moon, we'll go ahead and dive a little bit into that and see what we can find. Okay, so we are going to be starting. Today is also the beginning of Leo season, so we'll be starting with Leo. So what messages do you have for Leo, please? Intention setting for the full moon. What messages do you have for Leo, please? Okay. There's your card, Leo. Okay. So you have the Topsy-Turvets, number 51, and Solace, number 13. So this is really about generating, and when I mean generating, I really mean generating a brand new, fresh perspective or brand new viewpoint, and what's, synthesizing that is synthesis, as well as knowledge and strength. So Leo, it feels like we are in the birth of new ideas, fresh perspectives, changes of, maybe changes in the way that you see things, or maybe that is a challenge. And so perhaps as far as moon setting intentions, we could be taking a look at what ideas no longer fit in. Like if we decide where we're going, that creates kind of a new paradigm for us. And so what old thought patterns, what old, what old ideas that we have that do we really need to see from a new point of view, or what is going to limit our ability to see that? So perhaps for intention setting, it could be clearing out the clutter, or challenging the older ideas that we have, trying to gain a new perspective on those, or just clearing them out if we if they don't seem to fit with what it is that we're trying to accomplish or where it is that we're going. A little bit in this is kind of not knowing which way is up, and so harnessing that energy, the energy of Solace to go ahead and to help, guide us and set our compass. Perhaps, setting the intention of going ahead and getting rid of all of our old paradigms and just seeing where this new energy leaves us, like, releasing those old thought constructs and seeing where we can go instead, is the energy that you might want to be focusing on. Okay, so that is what I have for you, Leo. And let's go ahead and move on to Virgo. Okay, so Virgo, what do we have for Virgo, please? For Virgo, for the full moon in Aquarius. Okay, Virgo, you have the Sage, number 19, and Sylvanus, I think I said this last time, Sylvanus, number 34. Okay, so this is about seeing, you know, having the wisdom to see the falsities that are being put on us, and having that clarity because of the mirroring effect that goes on in this world. So perhaps lately you've been seeing that mirroring effect, and it's always the things we most dislike in other people are because there lies therein a seed in us as well, right? So we're not really judging them, we're really judging us and how we feel about that. So perhaps, you know, the Sage is wisdom, old time wisdom, that deep knowing, and really it talks about the wisdom of all worlds and stability, but instability, to continually, you know, because the world changes, and to continually keep that stability, we in fact ourselves need to incorporate new change as well. So perhaps it's taking a look at what we've had mirrored back to us lately that has made us feel uncomfortable. And those are the parts or the personality traits or the feelings that we may want to release during this full moon. From the full moon to the new moon. Right? So it takes a little bit to go ahead and identify those things, but it feels like you're being given that wisdom, those downloads, to be able to take a look at it and to see, you know, what exactly do we not, when we see things in other people that irritate us, or just like, you know, it's like nails on a chalkboard, or like something under our fingernail, it actually is showing us a part of ourselves that we're not comfortable with or we don't like. So, yep, I believe, Virgo, that your your full moon release maybe has to do with, you know, those traits that you're uncomfortable with. How can we release those things that we don't even like to see in other people, so that we can become whole and, you know, even deeper in our own wisdom, and at that point, you know, we can be really proud in the work that we put in to go ahead and to clean out those impurities and to move forward in a whole new way. Okay, Virgo, that's what I have for you. Now we're going to move on to Libra. Libra, please. What do we have for Libra in this full moon Aquarius? What do we have for Libra in the full moon in Aquarius? Libra, please. Okay. Libra, you have Town the Poet, number 29, and Fef the Footer, number 58. So this has a sort of erotic mischief to it. You know, it's the poet. It's knowing and trying to find just the right words to go ahead and to engender something in other people. And Fef the Footer is really about the grounding that needs to happen. So maybe for your full moon intention setting, this could go two ways, right? Like, if you find that you've been I guess this is very dreamy and lofty. The poet is, you know, all about those more softer, it's a light and floaty feeling of like whimsy and passion and delight. Just poetry in general kind of gives you, well, depends what kind, but if we're doing it for, you know, means of seduction, it's really kind of light and airy and floating on clouds. Stuff the Footer asks us to write in true Libra fashion. We're like floating off into the air, into fantasy, and yet trying to keep that one foot on the ground the entire time. So it could very well go both ways. If you find that you've been having trouble communicating with people, maybe it would be, you know, intention setting could be to have clarity in speaking with them, right? In being able to find the words or coming at it in a positive, a seductive light. So perhaps maybe we've been a little bit direct in the communication that we've been having, and maybe that is what we need to release, to come at it, but from a lighter, whimsical way to accomplish this, you know, the same thing and probably better. If, you know, we've kind of been finding that we're trying to communicate with people and they don't really understand what we're putting forward, that would lead us to believe that maybe we need to get, instead of adding the whimsy, we need to kind of release that whimsy and to be more direct and matter of fact in the words that we're, you know, in our communication with people. I really think it has a lot to do with communication, having a really hard time, and this weird itchy throat that's come in just now. So yeah, you know, what is it in a broader sense? Doesn't need to be, you know, it is a general reading, so it doesn't need to be quite so direct. You folks will know how your communication is going with people. Are you achieving what you want to? And if not, how can we take a look at that and see the ways that we don't want to communicate, or the mannerisms in which we have difficulty communicating, and going ahead and asking for that to be changed. Let's see, you have number 16. This is about transformation and nurturing. So it's really about, this is like one of the most beautiful cards because it's all about that change. Bees, you know, changing nectar into honey, and so too with the bee's interaction with the blossom. That transformation also occurs with the blossom so that it can transform into fruit. So if we want to bring that in, what is it that we need to release to go ahead and to maximize on that transformation? It's like more than transformation. literally is like a transfiguration of one thing to another in kind of a miraculous way. Yeah. So that's what I have for you, Libra. Thank you so much. And let's move on to Scorpio. Scorpio. What do we have for Scorpios for this full moon in Aquarius? Intention setting. What is the energy that we should focus on for Scorpio during this full moon in Aquarius? Okay. Scorpio. You have unity, number 1, and 18 in true Scorpio fashion. Number 18, Lady of the Harvest. So this right here really is a lot of the death and the rebirth. It's really the death that's underlying, and you know, vast energies. Unity is really about vast energies looking for a place to happen. So it really is about that new birth and new light that's coming to go ahead and to transform that which was harvested, right? So the Lady of the Harvest speaks to like a release and liberation. So couldn't be more appropriate for a full moon reading. I think it's just, since it's so broad in general, it's probably going to be something different for each of you. But it really is something that has kind of reached its peak. And if you're resonating with this, you'll know exactly what that is for you. It's been fun, it's been good, but it really, like at this point, has very little further growth. And what has come out of it is sweet, but perhaps it's time to, you know, be liberated from that situation and to release it at a point where we have kind of reaped those fruits before they all start decaying. It's good to end it on a good note. And with that comes in a brand new experience, the next chapter, so to speak. So this really is, we see the vision of this new chapter. We know that we need to let it go. Sometimes it's hard to do that. But this, for you, Scorpio, the intention setting for this full moon probably has to do with releasing something that has been prosperous, but that, you know, either is offering no further growth or won't fit into this brand new expansion energy that you're looking forward to. Okay, that's what I have for you, Scorpio. Have a wonderful full moon. Thank you so much for your time. And we'll move on to Sagittarius. What do we have for Sagittarius during this Aquarius full moon? Full moon in Aquarius, please. For Sagittarius and intention setting. Sagittarius. Okay, you also have Lady of the Harvest. This is slightly different. You really have Lady of the Harvest as your lead card, so that is taking a forefront in your experience right now. Lady of the Harvest is number 18. And Mikkel Amakkel is number 49. So this asks us really to, it feels like our focus is more on the fact that the harvest is here. It's gives me, this combination gives me more of a feeling of less of a bittersweet goodbye, or understanding that the time has come for release. But it's as if we're holding on to it a little bit, or maybe the release has already happened, but we're not as comfortable with it. And it's occupying a great deal of our thought and mind. Mikkel Amakkel asks us to lighten up, to have more of a childlike heart. And so perhaps your intention should have something to do with releasing the thoughts around, the negative thoughts around this liberation, but to really see it as a liberation and as something great, to go ahead and lighten that energy a little bit and to release the heaviness that we're feeling in this situation. Whatever the situation is could benefit, whether or not we're able to recoup it. It could definitely, what this is saying is that it definitely could benefit from the viewpoint that we're having change a little bit, to bring to it a lighter, more playful energy, to find maybe some synergy, or to just give it a more, right, anytime that we're frustrated, or that energy radiates out of us to those that are around us. So for this situation in particular, maybe it just takes that light heart, that, more airiness of spirit, to kind of change that energy and that dynamic. It does feel, not trying to sugarcoat it, it does feel like something, time has come. The situation has bore all the fruit that it's going to, but how we look at it and changes the energy that we approach that and other things in our life with. And so really it's about that alchemy, which Sagittarius is right? Our major arcana says that, but it's really about us seeking that. Libras are always trying to seek balance. Sagittarius are always trying to, seek temperance with that, and to create that alchemy. So for your full moon, I would say it would be having a lightness of spirit, and how to do that is to ask to release the heaviness surrounding whatever this liberating experience is. To see it as not loss, but as liberation, may make all the difference in the world. Okay? Thank you so much, Sagittarius. And now we're going to move on to Capricorn. What do we have for Capricorns in this new moon in full moon in Aquarius? I just want something new. Full moon in Aquarius, please. What do we have for Capricorns for the full moon in Aquarius? Aquarius full moon. Setting intentions for Capricorn, please. What are those energies? Okay. So, Capricorn, you have the Singer of Initiation, number 9. And we have Arval Parrot, number 50. So, the Singer of Intuition and Arval Parrot. Let's see. Well, Arval Parrot talks about clear, concise communication, but underlying that is about, it's deeper than that. It's, listening. It's being able to articulate, but also listening to that articulation, being able to, from that, glean ideas. And really, it's about like the ability to communicate, but also the right when you're sitting and you're having a great conversation with someone, when you're really vibing with them, when they're making a very salient point, like you can go ahead and you already know what you want to say next because it's sparking ideas and that creativity. So like that really is kind of that energy of Arval Parrot. So, and then the Singer of Initiation, it's being put through a test. It really is trial, right? Any initiation is like a trial testing period. But with that can come triumph. And so if we're looking at if we're going through a hard time, we can triumph. And it's telling us here that a lot of that will come from, sometimes when you're going through a hard time, we can be a little less open, a little less, we're really more focused on the challenge than we are on what are the creative aspects that may help to circumvent that, or a brand new way of looking at something to be able to like, it's the feeling I'm getting is like a creative approach, but it comes through having those challenging conversations. So perhaps, I could see this in a number of ways for setting full moon intentions. One of them being letting down the guard to have uncomfortable conversations, because it really will open up a whole new solution to it all. The solution to get through whatever this test or trial period is. Yeah. It also could be just releasing the confusion or fear to go ahead and to face the trial. I think this had a little bit to do with the last reading about, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it feels very similar in that, I think it was about showing up in our authentic way, but because of the way that we have communicated with people or shown up in the past, changing that dynamic would be difficult. You probably want to go back to, I'm not sure which reading that was. It could have been the new moon, or it could have been the vice versa right before that. In any case, it really brings me back to that reading. It has a slightly different energy and spin to it when we're taking a look at it here, but yeah, it's really about either releasing the constraint from communication or releasing the want to hold back from starting this process, or something to that effect. So yeah, setting an intention to just release the stagnancy on whatever it is and to head straight into the trial. I think that what you're going to find is that it is going to be inspirational, and that you're probably going to find the solution to it quicker than you thought. Maybe even before the next new moon. It may just take that one conversation. And I think you'll be asking yourself why you didn't do it sooner, instead of living through and the challenges and the suffering that comes along with testing and trials. Yeah. Okay, Capricorn, that's what I have for you. Thank you so much, and I wish you the best at this full moon. And now we'll move on to Aquarius. What do we have for our Aquarius people during the full moon in Aquarius? Guys, energy's high. What do we got going on? What is the energy that we should be focusing on for intention setting for Aquarius during Aquarius full moon? Himself, number 17, and the bodacious Bodak, number 59. Okay, this guy is helpful fixing. We all know someone who's only trying to help. So it can feel like sabotage, but really there are good intentions behind the bodacious Bodak. But it can also indicate a direct stop. So it feels like there's playful yet unhelpful energy going on. Or maybe what is it? It's coming in with himself, partnered with himself. It feels like the comedy of errors has gotten greater and greater and greater. And it's becoming something that we can, whatever is this like disharmonic energy, regardless of its intention, really feels like it's been growing and getting larger and larger. And it really is something that needs to be addressed. So whether this is, I mean, it really takes two people or dynamics within a group to create something like this. But we can have the best intentions, but if it just doesn't harmonize or isn't valued by the other person, it can, especially if we think differently or act differently, it can really just, like I said at the beginning, just seem like a comedy of errors that just is out of harmony. This is really about also additionally dancing the spark of life into being. And so, I've been getting a similar message for Aquarius for the past I don't know, what is it, like past month or so, that it really is about finding that authenticity and being able to just live that. It feels like there's been a damper on that, whether it's a situation or another person in your life. And it's just really about stepping out into that energy. Like I said, this feels like the disharmonization, this incongruence and just a stutter step feeling has been happening for a while, and it's getting larger and larger. And so your release might just be to identify who or what I'm talking about, and to be able to step into your authenticity, releasing that from your life. Because as helpful or as good intentioned as it seems, it really has the ability to like create messes, right? It's not necessarily what we think of in the normal sense of sabotage, but it's just these messes that really are unnecessary and don't require that extra energy to deal with. So that's what I have for you, Aquarius. I wish you a wonderful full moon and releasing period. Let's get rid of that energy so that you have the ability to really take on and maximize yourself. Okay, have a great full moon. Moving on to Pisces. Oh, what do we have for Pisces, please? Pisces, Aquarius full moon, tension setting. What is the energy for Pisces? There she goes, series on. Okay, and we have Nellis the Alchemist, number 27, and a collection of pixies, number 48. Okay, so this is about becoming unstuck, and the underlying of that and the way through this, to break this stuckness is the collection of pixies is really like happy, merry energy, like a merry heart makes light of the work that we need to do. So what is it that excites you, that gets you energized, that think about that for a second, and then think about why you've been stuck. A change clearly needs to happen. Why you've been stuck. A change clearly needs to happen. It has a lot to do with approaching it with this energy. But what is it that is stuck? And how have you been working with that energy, person, or environment in the past? Because whatever that energy has been, that should be your intention to release and to bring in a more happy, playful, joyful way of approaching the matter so that we can get that energetic juices flowing and the excitement going, and to go ahead and to stick that if our tires stuck in mud, to you know, skip over to find a stick and stick it under that tire and push. Well, to do that, we have to be energized to do so. We can't be stuck in doldrum energy, right? So releasing that ho-hum doldrum energy, or I mean, that's just an example. You're gonna know how this resonates with you the most, and what is making you stuck is going to, you know, in its place, make room for the excitement and to see it. Maybe it's about we're trying to achieve a goal, and the tasks that nothing seems to be working, and the tasks that we think need to be done are the ones that we're focusing on, and we're not enjoying them. So therefore, we don't put that much effort into it. So therefore, they take forever, and we are stuck. But if we move on to a lighter, happier energy, maybe doing the tasks that we enjoy, that work goes quickly. And we're in a much better enlivened spirit to deal with like kind of the junk tasks that happen. Ooh, I really think it has to do with a little, yeah. Maybe you need to, it's all in a matter of thinking. We need a little bit of like seducing ourselves with thinking, right? The Piper is like just what it sounds like. Number 24, the Pied Piper. It's about the gentleness and the harmony, that, you know, song that gets people dancing on their feet. It's about persuasion. So, yeah. Coming at it from that point of view is sure to unlodge us, our stuck tire in the mud. Okay, Pisces, that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for this time, and I hope you have an amazing, it looks like it can get exciting, full moon period going into the new moon, the next new moon. Okay. All right. Moving on to Aries. What do we have for Aries during this Aquarius full moon, please? What are the energies we're trying to set intention for Aries? What energy are we working with? Aries, for the Aquarius full moon, please. Okay. You have the Singer of the Chalice, number 12, and the Feline, 65. There is unfinished business, promises unkept, and the Feline asks you to go back and to finish. It's asking you to do this with joyful, loving willingness. So what is it that you are needing to go back and to complete? What loose ends are there? What have we left untied? Untied up, right? Because this energy is pulling us back. You see his eyes? He's like, come back. This energy is pulling us back. And it's something that needs closure, that needs to be completed, so that as you move forward, we're cord cutting whatever that was, whether it's a situation or a conversation that wasn't had, or a person that we haven't had closure with. Maybe you need the closure, maybe they need the closure. It's unfinished. And in order to effectively move forward, we need to go back there and take a look at it, to face it, and to complete the task. Complete the conversation. create the closure for us or someone else. So perhaps that in a larger sense, even though it's an active principle to go out there and to seek it, what we are seeking is that closure, that finality, that understanding. And so that Aries, as simple as it seems to be, as simple as it seems and as hard as it is to do, seems to be what your Aquarius full moon intention should be. Closure. Okay? Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great full moon. Best of wishes with this. Okay, let's do Taurus. What energies do we have for Taurus, please, for full moon in Aquarius? Full moon in Aquarius. Full moon in Aquarius for our Taurus people, please. Taurus, full moon in Aquarius. Intention setting for Taurus. What energies are we dealing with? Really trying not to cough, but it's coming. Okay, you have Lace, the moon's daughter, 38, and the Pook, 60. Okay. This is some very interesting energy. This is like symbolic psychic dreams. Who had this last time? Was it Taurus? Huh. Okay. It's like a symbolic psychic dreams. It has mysticism, riddles, a very enchanting and yet seductive energy to it. I mean, just look at her. She's like all excited about something. And the Pook really is about, this is a very strange combination of energies, but it really is about good in the bad and bad in the good. It's paradoxal, right? So it feels, this energy feels like being more open to these dreams, being more open to there's like a whimsy to it. Like, it's very, like a very unjudgmental, esoteric feeling that's coming through here with this combination. Maybe it's about letting go of our paradigms. This one is the most, it's like the most uncomfortable and yet feels like the most connected I've been in these readings so far. So it has that it's a very comfortable yet uncomfortable feeling. There's like an openness and a weirdness, but a lack of judgment. And so maybe your full moon release is really about letting go of paradigms, My eyes have just gotten incredibly itchy. Maybe our perception, letting go of harder aspects, allowing, you know, releasing confines, releasing the harder aspects of here are the corners, the borders, and this is how it is. And really being open to the different possibilities and energies that you'll be able to work with. Such a weird feeling, Taurus. It's like, let go. Of what? Of everything. Of like all of the paradigms. Yeah, this is the most esoteric one so far. I think that you're really going to have I think this is going to be a very interesting and maybe like uncomfortable but exciting period that really is going to shift all the paradigms that you have held up until this point. It's like I feel like there's more to say, but there is a certain mystery to it. It is like a riddle. I guess in the affirmative, if we were doing new moon, it would be like open up, right? Open up to this. But really, when we're dealing with it in a full moon releasing cycle, it would probably be let go of all of your preconceived notions, because something is about to blow your mind. Okay, and with that, I'm gonna try to release this energy. But I wish you the best, Taurus. It seems life-changing, quite honestly. Some very interesting energy we're dealing with. Okay, let's see. Let's move into Gemini. Gemini for this Aquarius full moon, please. What's the energy that we're dealing with Gemini as we move into this Aquarius full moon? What are the energies we're working with for intention setting and releasing for Gemini? Oh boy. All right. Well, this is a lot of energy. Very different energy from Taurus, I must say. Well, we talked a little bit about this before with the previous sign. But unity, number one, I always say that this is like vast energy looking for a place to happen. It's like the universe wanting to like rain down on you all of that energy, because you're in a place to create. It's like co-creating with the universe, and that's what that unity is about. It's amazing. You just look at it. And then you have the RAR, number 52. And I always say that this is like an energetic atom bomb. It's like there is something building and growing and just waiting to, I don't know, explode. It's like the book talks about it being like Tigger, like that bouncy, energetic coiling of Tigger bouncing on his tail, right? But it also asks you, I mean, it's called the RAR. it asks you to use that energy in a positive way. So this is just a lot of pent up energy. I'm not sure what. It's intense, but I guess with this, it's like, I don't know, my plea is for you to release any idea of using this type of energy for malintent or for bad, because really this has the ability to be like a boat propeller to, or a jet engine to like push you forward in such a positive way. But I also can see that if this energy were to center and to metastasize is not the right word, although that's like what's coming, because that would seem, maybe it is, because if you wait and sit in a place for too long, that's what could happen. Yeah, it's as if you got to get that energy moving and flowing and generate it into something, or it could be combustible and not in a good way. So if there's any thing to release, it would be stagnancy. Yeah, I think that's actually what I'm going to go with. I mean, I don't think any of you out there are, you know, thinking about using this energy with malintent. If you are, please don't. I don't know how to say it more direct than that. But it feels like the stagnancy can create that same thing, whether there's malintent or not. It could be unintended consequences of explosion and not positive benefits using it like a jet engine, but just having it explode like some agitated, I don't know, C4. I don't know how C4 works. Whatever, you hear that? Use it to propel forward. Don't sit on it. If you sit on it, I just can't shake the feeling of ill effects happening, unintended ill effects. That's what it keeps coming in. Okay, so release stagnancy. Let's work on that. Channel it into something that you can build, and that's going to be a gain. Bowl the strike. I don't know. That's what I'm getting from it. Okay, atom bomb. Get the strike, not an atom bomb. Thank you, Gemini. Such an interesting energy coming through. Best wishes for this Aquarius full moon. That's some full moon energy there. Oh, I'm scared to see where this last one, Cancer, is going. Okay, Cancer, what do we have for Cancer during this Aquarius full moon? It's like picking up intensity once we hit Aries. We gotta hit that like in Aries, and then it's just been taken off like a rocket ever since. Okay, Cancer, what are we working with as far as energies for intention setting? Aquarius new moon for Cancer, please. Oh, here she is again. We're off like a rocket. Okay. Lace the Moon's Daughter, 38. So again, right, we talked about this. Riddles, the symbolic psychic dreams. This is about night dreams. So, you know, there's a mysticism and a hidden energy kind of experience that goes on with Lace the Moon's Daughter. And then you have Oh That Gnome, 26. And this is about the best way to put this is constructive creative chaos, right? From misfortune, good can arise. Yeah. It cracks me up every time I think that this is like really a pattern breaking card. But because just that face, it's like, it doesn't seem like a pattern. You're just kind of sitting there looking bored like forever. But yeah, it's like a pattern. It's breaking patterns, and it's really about, right, if we're breaking patterns, we're learning the lesson from the challenge that's presented. So good from misfortune, lessons from challenge, and then this very strange combination really is kind of alluding to that the answers have been hidden. The lessons have been, we've had to work a little bit harder to solve those riddles. And maybe we're not there yet, but I think the energy is kind of tapering off with Cancer. So I appreciate that, Cancer. But it really feels like clarity. So maybe asking, right? So what we would be releasing in this sense would be the illusion, the enigma, getting rid of complexity. I think that's what it is, right? How we're trying to look at it and what we're trying to dig is really for the answer, but there's, our thoughts are racing, and there isn't enough information, or maybe there is, but there's so much information that we don't know which is the essential information. So it's just really about we want clarity. So asking for the, you know, the illusion to be removed, or it's the opposite of clarity. See, I'm getting more confused as we go. I said it earlier. I'm going to rewind it later and listen to it. Too bad I can't do that right now. And maybe in that you've wanted to re-experience things over and over, and yet you keep experiencing it, but we're not, you know, he's asking us to find the lesson in the pattern. Constructive creative chaos is the no. Constructive creative chaos. Yeah, so chaos clearing. So we've already been through this. If it's a pattern, we've been doing it over and over and over. So chaos clearing, illusion clearing. Let's get, you know, asking for that to be cleared. So in fact, what you can achieve is clarity on whatever this situation is for you. It's slightly esoteric. I guess a lot of them are kind of more broad generalizations when we do the moon thing. And that's good because each one of you is going through something different. But if it resonates, you'll know exactly what that situation is, and whether the full moon intention is, you know, for you or not. So I hope this resonated with you folks. I thank you for your time, and please like, share, and subscribe. Mahalo.